This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, welcome to our Oracle Golden Gate webinar on different types of architecture and installation of Oracle Golden Gate practical session. My name is Ashish and I'll be delivering this session to you. So before commencing the session, just a quick update regarding the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/ashishagarwal_gg. So if you haven't liked, subscribed or shared it, I request you to do that. If you haven't visited it, first visit it and definitely I'm sure you are going to like it. The session has a lot of Golden Gate related videos which will help you, and whenever I come live, it is definitely going to help you. So you can do like and subscribe and let us start our session now. So today's session we are going to do as discussed. Topic of our session, today's session is Oracle Golden Gate, different types of architecture and installation of Oracle Golden Gate. So just before I start, just an update about just quick introduction about me. So I'm an expert in Oracle Golden Gate and Oracle databases. I have 11 plus years of training experience in Golden Gate. I have a lot of high rated courses available, Oracle Golden Gate, classic architecture, microservices, Veridata. Then I have trained more than 3,500 plus trainees and 120 plus corporates so far. I'm blogger, YouTuber, and also uh, I'm associated with a lot of online training institutes as well. I'm Oracle certified professional and Oracle Golden Gate certified. So these are my contact details. My email ID is ashishagarwalag@gmail.com, or I could be reached out on Twitter at ashishagarwalag, or my YouTube channel is youtube.com/ashishagarwal_gg. Also, I'm available on LinkedIn. So if we are not connected, you can always send me the request over LinkedIn as well, and I would be happy to accept that. So now coming to today's session agenda. In today's session, we are going to learn a lot of new things. Definitely if you are looking to learn Oracle Golden Gate. So this session will be very good for you. And even if you are working on Oracle Golden Gate, this will serve you as a very good refresher. So today's session agenda include introduction to Oracle Golden Gate. What are different types of Golden Gate architecture? What is Oracle Golden Gate classic architecture? What is Oracle Golden Gate microservices architecture? What is the difference between the two architecture like classic and microservices architecture, and what are the different components? Then we are going to discuss about where we can install Oracle Golden Gate. What are the possible options? Local server or remote server we should be installing it on. Then we are going to discuss about installation of Oracle Golden Gate, which is going to be the practical session. Then we'll be discussing about remote server capture and apply requirement, and then we'll be having question and answer session. So now let's focus. I request you all to keep your phone down for next 120 minutes. And for any question, if you have, post your question using below form. I have also pasted that in the chat session, and if you're watching it on the YouTube, you can always copy the link. You can always get the link and post your question over there. So I give you 10 seconds to keep your phone down, and we'll start in next 10 seconds. Okay, so let us start now. So let us start with what is Oracle Golden Gate and why do we need Oracle Golden Gate as a professional reason as well as personal reason. Okay, so Oracle Golden Gate provides near real-time replication. So Oracle Golden Gate is a change data capture solution which allows you to replicate the data in near real time. So as soon as the transaction is done, it gets applied onto the target database in near real time. So with Golden Gate, the replication can be unidirectional, bidirectional, or multidimensional. So before I proceed, just a quick introduction about Golden Gate. Actually, Golden Gate was founded in 1995, year 1995, and it was named after famous Oracle Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Until 2009, it was Oracle Golden Gate. In 2009, Oracle overtook Golden Gate, and since then it is known as Oracle Golden Gate. So with Golden Gate replication may be unidirectional, bidirectional, or multidimensional. So Golden Gate is one of the popular solution when you are going to do replication from Oracle to Oracle or heterogeneous database replication like Oracle to SQL Server or SQL Server to Teradata. Golden Gate supports multiple databases, and apart from that, another advantage is it works on multiple platforms as well. So your source can be Windows, target database can be on Sun Solaris. Golden Gate can replicate the data. The source database can be on Unix. Can be on HPUX. Golden Gate can replicate the data. So there are certain lists of supported platforms, supported databases which Golden Gate supports. The list from 19C has been increased a lot. So now Golden Gate also supports a NoSQL databases, Informix database, Postgres, replication to Postgres it supports, so there are a lot of options available. So with Golden Gate, replication may be unidirectional, bidirectional, or multidimensional. So one of the major advantage with Golden Gate is it not only allows you to do one site to another site replication, you can do bidirectional replication as well. That means that you from site A to site B, when the replication goes on, both the sites can be live, both the sites can be active, and replication from site B to site A will happen. Similarly, site A to site B will happen. So both the sites can be live in Oracle Golden Gate. So with Golden Gate, replication can involve several sources and targets simultaneously. That means that you can have multiple sources, single target as well. So single source, single target works. Apart from that, you can have multiple sources, site A, site 1, site 2, site 3, replicating data to site 4. That is possible. So basically, you can broadcast the data using Oracle Golden Gate. Also, you can consolidate the data as well. So once, sorry, the option which I mentioned earlier, it is consolidation, multiple sources to single target. Also, broadcasting is single source sending data to multiple targets. So you can do that. So replication can involve several sources and targets simultaneously, and that could be used for backup purpose, standby purpose, auditing, reporting, warehousing, load distribution. I mean, there are a lot of use cases available with Golden Gate. In fact, personally, I worked with one of the leading bank of India. It was around 7 to 8 years back, and you won't believe upon implementing Golden Gate how much revenue loss they saved. So prior to using Golden Gate, they were getting the loss of almost $1 billion per day. After implementation of Golden Gate, it went down considerably, almost 90%. So you can use Golden Gate for hot backup or hot standby, or you can use Target for auditing, reporting, warehousing. So in telecom domain, when we talk about banking domain, your database consumes a lot of resources on reporting jobs. You consider how much resources it consumes, and it interferes with the OLTP transactions. So to ensure that your OLTP transactions and reporting jobs are different, you can use Oracle Golden Gate, and it is one of the popular solution. Apart from that, Golden Gate is used for business intelligence. Like Golden Gate along with ODI is one of the best business intelligence solution available in the market. So Golden Gate Informatica, Golden Gate ODI, they are also widely used. So with Golden Gate, also supports data filtration and transformation. So data may be replicated as it is, so you can replicate the data as it is, or replicated data may be edited, transformed, split into different distributions. So you can use Golden Gate for multiple reasons. Like if you have, say for example, 100 schemas on source, you want to replicate all 100 schemas on target, that is possible. Apart from that, you may want to filter out the transactions. Say for example, there are 100 tables, you want to replicate the data of only 5 tables, that is possible with Golden Gate. Apart from that, you can transform the data as well in Oracle Golden Gate. Say for example, on source, employee table has salary and commission column. However, on target, you have only salary column. You want that the addition of salary plus commission on source should be replicated to salary column on target. So you can do all that. So basically, Golden Gate also supports your data filtration and transformation as well. So data may be replicated as it is, or replicated data may be edited or transformed, split into different distributions, have metadata added or filtered. Now with Golden Gate, another advantage is you can replicate DMLs as well as DDLs as well. So now who should be learning Golden Gate? So if you are DBA, App DBA, PLSQL developer, technologist responsible for data replication, high availability data technologist, cloud migration specialist, like there are a lot of cloud migration right now going on. So if you are uh, working on those part as well, I highly recommend you to learn Golden Gate. And at least in current scenario, like where market is volatile, you should be keep on upskilling yourself. Definitely, like there are a lot of job opportunities coming who are asking for specifically for Oracle Golden Gate, so it is highly recommended you should be learning. So now why learn Golden Gate? Now learning Golden Gate, you have professional as well as personal reasons. So first is I'll come with personal reason. Like many organizations sign end user license agreement, which is called as EULA. So they sign end user license agreement with Oracle with Golden Gate included. Now what happens, because Golden Gate is a costly tool, right? So now when you use Golden Gate for when they sign end user license agreement with Oracle, so they are, and with Golden Gate included, of course. So they are free to use Golden Gate in any number of servers and anywhere. Means again, it depends on licensing part, but yeah, you can use Golden Gate. Apart from that, if they buy separately, Golden Gate is a costlier tool. So when they sign end user license agreement, and Golden Gate is not only used for replication purpose, it is one of the best tools for business intelligence, for zero downtime upgradation and migration, like cloud migration is going on. So Golden Gate is widely used. So for that purpose, organizations are using Oracle Golden Gate, because Golden Gate, apart from replication solution, it serves a lot of other purposes. It can be used for many other purposes. So that's why you must be seeing in the market right now, there are jobs not only related, I would say around 3 to 4 years back, what used to happen was organizations were looking for Oracle Golden Gate DBA. So basically they were looking for DBAs who have Golden Gate knowledge, but now they are looking for people who have specific to Golden, who have worked specifically in Golden Gate domain. So they are looking for people with Golden Gate experience separately. So Golden Gate right now is one of the niche skill, and it is definitely, it is used by almost all the domains. Golden Gate is being used. If we talk about whatever service you are using, Netflix, Uber, Skip the Dishes, everywhere Golden Gate is being used. You name a service, Hotstar, it is using Oracle Golden Gate. So everywhere Golden Gate is being used, it is not only being used by banks and telecoms, it is primarily still being used by all banks and telecoms, primarily are using Oracle Golden Gate. But apart from that, it is being used by all other domains. In many domains, Golden Gate is being used. So today's employers expect DBAs developers to more than one skill, and Golden Gate is niche and in demand skill. So these are the personal reasons you should be learning. So with cloud implementation, that was this was what I was mentioning. Customer want real-time replication or zero downtime migration from on-prem to cloud or cloud to on-prem. So one of the major advantage with Golden Gate is it supports your zero downtime upgradation and migration. So as I mentioned, Golden Gate supports zero downtime upgradation and migration. So for cloud migration, on-prem to cloud or cloud to on-prem, Golden Gate is being widely used. And definitely DBAs, developers and architects can set apart by upskill, stay ahead in career and better paid job in Oracle Golden Gate. Okay. So now let us discuss about what are the different types of Oracle Golden Gate architecture. So that was the introduction of Oracle Golden Gate. So now we'll discuss about different types of Oracle Golden Gate architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate architecture, there are two types of architecture: Oracle Golden Gate classic architecture and Oracle Golden Gate microservices. So how many of you know about what is classic, what is microservices? Just type in the chat session how many of you know. I give you 10 seconds and you can type in the chat. How many of you know what is classic and what is microservices? Okay, so most of the answer I'm receiving is no, and few people have replied we know only classic and integrated. Okay, one answer I have received from Gajanan, classic is command line, so he knows about that. Okay, okay, so most of the people are unaware. So you are into the correct session and you'll understand about it. So one or two people have answered, they know about that, but majority, almost 95% of people are not aware. So let me get that clear. So there are two types of architecture: Oracle Golden Gate Classic architecture and Oracle Golden Gate Microservices architecture. Now what happened, as I mentioned, Oracle overtook Golden Gate in 2009. From 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate, and that was through command prompt. I again repeat, from 2009 to 2017, there was only one way to configure Golden Gate, and that was through command prompt. And we used to call it Oracle Golden Gate. What happened in 2017? Oracle introduced the new architecture of Golden Gate, which is GUI based architecture as well. That means that until 2017, before microservices was launched, you can configure, manage, set up Golden Gate only through command prompt, which is known as GGSCI. Oracle introduced microservices architecture in August 2017, and you can now configure, manage, troubleshoot, manage Golden Gate through GUI as well. And also you can integrate your cloud applications with Golden Gate now. So now they had a new architecture called as Oracle Golden Gate Microservices, which is GUI based architecture, and they renamed the existing architecture of Golden Gate to Oracle Golden Gate Classic architecture. So classic architecture is command prompt based architecture and microservices is GUI based architecture. Now Oracle Golden Gate Classic architecture is still available, and it is available since beginning. It is command prompt based architecture, and it is available for Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. That means that Oracle Golden Gate Classic architecture you can use either for Oracle as well as non-Oracle databases. Oracle Golden Gate Microservices is available from OGG 12.3 version. So basically from 12.3 version onwards of Oracle Golden Gate, you have microservices architecture as well as classic architecture. So you can set up, manage, troubleshoot Golden Gate through GUI in microservices. Now, major difference between classic and microservices is microservices as of now is available for only Oracle database. So if you are still using, say for example, you have to set up Golden Gate for SQL Server, so you will still have to go with classic architecture. So now you have two architectures available, classic, microservices. You have the option of choosing which one you want to go with. Microservices architecture is the latest one. Now you may say which one is the popular one. So to answer this question, still majority of organizations are using classic architecture. I would say whatever statistics I have received recently, as per that almost 85% of organizations are still using classic architecture. However, Oracle is pushing its customers to use microservices architecture, which is the latest feature of Oracle Golden Gate. So it is pushing its existing customer, or it is pushing its customer to upgrade from classic to microservices. It is pushing its customer who are new to Golden Gate, who are implementing Golden Gate for the first time. It is pushing its customer to use microservices architecture. You must have heard about this microservices architecture. So this not microservices architecture, you must have heard this term microservices a lot. Most of the technologies are moving to microservices. Same Golden Gate has done. So to stay afloat in the market, to go with the future, so that this technology doesn't go obsolete, Oracle Golden Gate has launched, or it has upgraded itself to microservices now, and it is at least there to stay for next 7 to 8 years at least. So this technology is not going to end now. So that's why they have launched this Oracle Golden Gate microservices to stay afloat with current market trends, and it is right now there. So you have the option of choosing either classic architecture or microservices architecture when you're using Oracle Golden Gate. Now, one of the thing is your source can be on Classic, so you have source and target in Golden Gate. So it is possible to use the combination of source as Classic or target as microservices or vice versa. Now, third product of Oracle Golden Gate family is Oracle Golden Gate Veridata. How many of you have heard about it? Just type in the chat session. Okay, so for this Veridata, few are saying yes, so at least 70 to 80% people are still saying no. So Oracle Golden Gate Veridata is another product of Golden Gate family, which is used to find the data discrepancies between two objects, and it can repair them as well. So you have source database and target database. So consider a scenario. Golden Gate is used for replication, right? So consider a scenario on source, you have 100,000 records on source table, source object. On target object, you have only 99,000 records. And this Golden Gate replication right now is running for 6 years right now. So you have the data discrepancy of those 1,000 records, which is coming from earlier. It is not the latest one. Now, how can you identify the discrepancies? Either you can run the SQL script, but for that to find the correct answer, you need to get the application downtime, right? Veridata, the advantage is Veridata, as the name suggests, it verifies the data. So Veridata is used to find the data discrepancies between two objects. It can report the data discrepancies in real time, and if needed, it can repair them as well. So there is a discrepancy of those 1,000 records, right? So Veridata can repair those discrepancies for you as well and get the databases or objects into sync. So Golden Gate Veridata is another product of Golden Gate family, which is used with Oracle Golden Gate. Many organizations right now are using it, is getting very popular. The reason being, there are a lot of cloud migrations going on, and upon cloud migration, organizations are looking for to confirm whether the data which has been migrated is in sync with source or not. Now you may say, Ashish, we can write the SQL script for that. Will that not work? Yes, SQL script can work, but another issue with SQL script is, see, you need the application downtime. With Veridata, you don't need application downtime. Apart from that, with the SQL script, say for example, your Golden Gate is running right now. Okay, you did one transaction, you did one insert on source. Now what happens is Veridata can take care of any in-flight rows. So say for example, you run the Veridata job at 10 a.m. on source, 10 a.m. on target. On source at 9:59:59, that is at 59 minutes past 9 and 59 seconds, you did one insert. So when you run Veridata over there, it will take care of that this row has just been inserted. However, on target side, it gets inserted, say for example, at after 5 minutes. So but you started the Veridata job. So what happens is this is considered as an in-flight row, and Golden Gate Veridata will ensure that this row is not reported as a discrepant. So now related to license, yes, Veridata is a separate license product. It's a management product of Oracle Golden Gate. Okay, so you have two architectures available, classic and microservices. 85% of organizations, as per current statistics I have, are using classic architecture. Microservices is being used by 10 to 15% of organizations, and Veridata is being widely used as well. Now, apart from means learning all three courses, means learning all three things, what happens is it covers all your bases for present, future, as well as certification related things as well. So whether you are going for any job, any interviews, you can expect your questions only either from classic, microservices, or Veridata. Nothing will come out of these three, whether you are going for any job, whether you're going for any interviews or certification as well. So if certification wise, if I have to talk about, classic architecture is 60 to 70% questions you can expect in Golden Gate certification, which is 1Z0447. Microservices around 15 to 20%, and Golden Gate Veridata constitutes around 10 to 15% of questions. So it is Veridata is a separate license product. Okay, so now let us discuss about what is classic architecture. So let us discuss about what is classic architecture. So as I mentioned, classic architecture is command prompt based architecture. So now few people have asked that question, what is classic or integrated? Does integrated no longer exist? So that question will be answered for you subsequently as and when we move towards the session. Okay. So now classic architecture we are talking about. So in classic architecture, you have in Golden Gate, you have source database and target database. You have source database and target database. So your source database could be Oracle or any non-Oracle database. Target database could be any Oracle or non-Oracle supported database. So each database has its own redo logs. Also, each database has its own transaction logs. In case of Oracle, those transaction logs are redo logs or backup of redo logs, which are known as archive logs. So what happens is whenever any transaction happens into the database, whether it is DDL or DML, that gets recorded into the transaction logs. So as soon as that transaction happens, you configure Golden Gate capture process, which reads the data out of your transaction logs, capture it and writes it to local trail. These local trail resides on the local machine. As soon as data becomes available into local trail, Golden Gate data pump process reads the data out of your local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes into remote trail onto the target server. Once the data becomes available into remote trail, Golden Gate delivery or replicate process reads the data out of your remote trail and apply it to target database. So basically there are three processes involved over here: capture, pump and delivery process. Capture, pump and delivery process. So what happens is the transaction happens. So remember, your transaction logs may contain committed as well as uncommitted transactions. It's not only committed transactions which are recorded into the transaction log. So Golden Gate, the transaction logs contains committed as well as uncommitted transactions. So whatever transactions happens into the source database, those transactions get recorded into transaction logs. Golden Gate capture process is only going to capture your committed transactions. It is only going to capture your committed transaction. It is not going to capture any uncommitted transactions. As soon as the data gets captured, it writes it to local trail. Once the local trail data gets written into local trail. So remember this, these local trails reside on your operating system. These are platform independent. As soon as data becomes available into local trail, pump process reads the data out of your local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes the data into remote trail, which again resides on target machine. Then delivery process, which is present on target server, will apply that data to the target database. So Golden Gate also supports your bidirectional replication. Bidirectional replication means your site, so both the sites will act as source as well as target. So whatever transactions happens on site A will be replicated to site B. Similarly, whatever transactions happens on site B will be replicated to site A. So now in bidirectional scenario, site B will be acting as primary. So what happens, site B will have its own transaction logs. So you configure Golden Gate extract process, which reads the data out of your transaction logs, write it to local trail on site B. Once the data becomes available into local trail on site B, pump process reads the local trail, sends the data over TCP/IP network and writes it to remote trail on site A. Once the data becomes available into site A, remote trail, the delivery process available over here will apply that data to the target database. So bidirectional is nothing but two-way unidirectional with some considerations. So in bidirectional, there may be some conflicts which may arise. So Oracle Golden Gate also allows you to perform the CDR, conflict detection and resolution, which is important in bidirectional. So Oracle Golden Gate allows you to perform CDR as well. Okay. So now, so this is about classic architecture. Now, this whole is a classic architecture. Now, how many of you I am again asking the same question. How many of you, just type in the chat window, how many of you still has that question? What is classic or integrated? Does integrated extract no longer exist? I have received almost 10 response. So people are still, so let me answer that for you now. Okay. So now this whole is classic architecture. This whole is the classic architecture. Now what you are mentioning, what your doubt is, your classic what you're talking about is those are the types of extract and types of replicates. Okay, so under classic architecture, you have two types of capture or extract available. So remember, this capture process is also known as extract process. Delivery process is also known as replicate process. So if I refer from now onwards, if I refer extract, that also means capture, and if I mention replicate, that also refers as delivery process. So this whole is the classic architecture, which contains capture, pump, delivery, and it is a command prompt based architecture. Now inside classic architecture, you have integrated capture, classic capture. Similarly, different types of replicates are also available. So what you are talking about is those are different types of extracts and replicates. So under classic architecture, you have classic extract, integrated extract, classic replicate, integrated replicate available. Similarly, under microservices architecture, you have classic extract, integrated extract, classic replicate, non-integrated replicate, or classic replicate. So what you are mentioning, that question what you had was related to different types of extracts and replicates. One thing is, why I know why this question is there with many people is uh, the name what Oracle has done is they have named this architecture as classic, and also they have classic extract and integrated extract. So that's why people get confused. But you have to understand one thing over here. We are talking here about architecture as a overall. So there are two types of architecture as a overall. One is command prompt based, another one is GUI, which is classic and microservices. Inside those both types of architectures, you have different types of extracts and different types of replicates available. What are those different types of extract, different types of replicates? I'll be discussing more later. Okay, so does that answers your question now? Yes. So Brian is asking, so you can have both integrated and classic in both classic and microservices? Yes, exactly. You understood it absolutely correct. Okay. So let us now move forward. So classic architecture, basic. So now I'm again talking about classic architecture. So classic architecture, you have capture, pump, and delivery. Now inside classic architecture, you have integrated extract and classic extract. So in classic extract, what happens is the classic extract connects to the source database directly. It connects to the source database directly. However, when you configure the integrated capture inside classic architecture, when you configure the integrated capture, or when inside microservices, it works in the same way. How integrated capture works is integrated capture, there is a log miner database in between. So what happens is in integrated extract, log miner, so in here you see, let me go to the previous slide again. Here the classic extract, it is connecting to the source database directly and reading the transaction logs in sequential manner and will capture only committed transaction. Now here in integrated capture, how it works is as soon as the changes are made, the copy of those changes gets written into the log miner. Log miner then passes on the changes to the extract process in form of LCR. So there is one more layer in between when you are configuring the extract process. In integrated extract, it's the log miner database which passes on the changes to the extract process, and once the changes are passed, they get written into local trail. However, in classic extract, there is no log miner, what happens is classic extract connects to the source database directly, and it reads the transaction logs in sequential manner and captures the committed transaction. However, in case of integrated, it's the log miner which passes on the changes to the integrated extract, and then integrated extract writes those changes to the trail files. Now, the benefit of using integrated capture is it is faster performance wise. It is proven. It is much faster than the classic one. Means if you personally ask me, personal testing, whatever I have done, integrated extract is almost 5 times faster than the classic one. Now, another thing is, apart from that, integrated extract, it is always recommended by Oracle. If you are using, it is always recommended, not only by Oracle, but even if you ask me as well, it is always recommended to use the latest supported features. So integrated extract is available only for Oracle databases. Still, for non-Oracle databases, you still have to use classic extract. So integrated extract has 4 phases. First, reader, then preparer, then builder, and then capture happens, and then the changes are passed on to the extract process in form of LCR. So what are the benefits of adding log miner, or that is a discussion topic. We'll be discussing that not in today's session due to time constraint, but definitely sometime later we can discuss. So there are 4 phases which happens when you do integrated extract. So first, reader reads the data, whatever changes have been received, then preparer, then builder, and then capture passes on the changes to the integrated extract. So performance of integrated extract has been proven. Oracle recommends everyone to use, and in fact, I also recommend, if you ask my recommendation as well, I will always recommend people to use, if it's the latest, means for any technology, not only Golden Gate or not only any other technology related to database. Any technology you're working on, always try to use the latest supported versions and latest supported features. So if it is your Oracle database, so remember this integrated capture, I'll be discussing it later on, but just for information, it is available from Golden Gate version 11.204. I'll be discussing more about it from when it is supported later on. So the components of classic architecture includes, so under classic and microservices, you have different types of extract and different types of replicate. So the components of Golden Gate classic architecture include manager process, extract process, replicate process, trail files, pump process, and server collector process. So you saw this extract process, replicate process, trail files, and pump process. So manager process is the super process in Golden Gate which manages all the resources. So by default, manager comes with the installation. Server collector process is a background process which runs only onto the target. And when pump sends the data over TCP/IP network, collector process collects that data and writes it to remote trail. Okay. So let me take, if anyone has posted any question into the, guys, do make use of, I haven't received any question yet. So if you want, do post your questions into the sheet and I'll take those questions over there. Okay. Okay. So now let us move to microservices architecture. So microservices architecture is a new architecture which has been launched from 2017 onwards. So it is GUI based architecture. So Oracle Golden Gate microservices is new REST API based architecture which enable us to configure, monitor, and manage Oracle Golden Gate services using a web-based user interface. So it's a REST API based architecture, and you can manage, maintain, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate through GUI. Now, Oracle Golden Gate microservices was introduced from 12CR3 Golden Gate version onwards. So from 2017 August onwards, you have 2 architectures available. The older architecture was renamed to classic architecture, and new architecture, which is microservices architecture. So if you want to use new microservices architecture, you will have to do a fresh install and migrate to the architecture. So in fact, you might come across in your job environment, if you're going out for interviews, you will come across there are a lot of uh, short-term projects going on where people are looking for upgradation of Golden Gate Classic to microservices. So it is really very important. Okay. So these microservices architecture is going to be the boom maybe in next couple of years. So this is the microservices architecture. So microservices architecture, you have service manager. So service manager is there, you see. So service manager is basically the watchdog for all other services. So microservices, what happens is different services runs. So this is the microservices architecture in which you have service manager. Under service manager, you have different services running like admin server, distribution server, performance matrix server, as well as receiver server. So so service manager is nothing but watchdog for all other services, whatever you see. Now under admin server in microservices, you configure Golden Gate extract process, which writes data to the trail files. Once the data becomes available into local trail files, the distribution server reads the data out of your local trail, sends it over TCP/IP network, and writes it to remote trail on target with help of receiver server. So distribution server sends the data over TCP/IP network, where receiver server receives it and writes it to remote trail, and then the replicate process on target server read the data from remote trail and apply it to target database. So if you see, you have extract process writing data to local trail, distribution server sending data to target for receiver server to receive, and then replicate process reads the data from remote trail and apply to target database. So if you see the difference between classic and microservices, first of all is here between the processes or services. So things in classic runs as a process. However, in microservices, things runs as a service. So the data pump process, what data pump used to do in classic, same task distribution server is doing. What collector process was doing on in classic, receiver server is doing that. So what are the different components available for microservices are administration server, service manager, receiver server, distribution server, and performance matrix server. So administration server, you configure all the processes. It is basically used for you configure the processes, you purge the trail files. All the tasks are done under administration server. Service manager is watchdog for all the services. Receiver server, so collector process of classic architecture has been replaced with receiver server in microservices. Data pump of classic has been replaced with distribution server in microservices. And then from 12.3 onwards, Oracle also introduced performance matrix server as well. Now there is one misconception among, in fact, Golden Gate administrators as well, that performance matrix server has been only available with microservices. That's not true. From 12. Golden Gate version 12.3 onwards, Golden Gate introduced the performance matrix server for classic as well as microservices. So from 12.3 onwards, you now have performance matrix server available with both classic architecture as well as microservices. The difference between the two is in microservices, by default it is enabled, and in classic by default it is disabled. So there are certain steps which you have to do to enable it. So how do you log into Service Manager? This is the page. I'll show that to you. How do you log into Service Manager? Okay. So let me take one or two questions which I have received. What is initial load? Can you please help us to understand? So initial load is when you load the data initially from source database to target database. So what happens is when you say, for example, your source database is running for 2 years right now. and due to regulatory requirements, you decide to use Golden Gate from today. So Golden Gate can take care of data, whatever is there from today onwards. But what about the data which has been there for last 2 years? So for that, you will be loading into the target database, and that process of loading data initially is known as initial load. So you have various initial load methods available like export, import, transportable table space, backup and recovery, or you can also use Golden Gate initial load as well. Okay. Then can you briefly describe microservices and classic integrated? Yes, I described that. Is the data encrypted while transferred through TCP IP? So you have the option of encryption. By default, it is not encrypted, but yes, Golden Gate allows you to have the secured environment. So yes, you have the option of encrypting the data. Does extract process capture only committed data? Yes, it captures only committed data. Classic extract read the data from redo logs. Classic extract reads the data from redo logs or archive logs. Yes, microservices support only Oracle databases. It does not support any non-Oracle database. Which capture used in microservices Golden Gate? You should answer this for me now. I think I have cleared it, but I'll be discussing that later on again. Okay, I'll be discussing that part. What is difference between trail and pump process? Trail files are files which resides on operating system. Pump process is Golden Gate process which you configure on source. Which is good practice for initial load? GG initial load, export, import. So it depends on the situation. That comes with a different discussion. So we are not going to discuss it now due to time constraint because the agenda of session does not include that. But definitely, Sachin, we can discuss that later on. You can send me an email or anything. Okay. Okay, so Ganesh is asking classic or integrated, which one is recommended to you? So I think I already answered that. It is also always recommended to go with the latest supported method for versions method. So if the integrated is supported, it is always recommended to go with the integrated one. Okay, so now let us discuss about installation of Golden Gate. How to install Oracle Golden Gate. So before you proceed with Golden Gate installation, always ensure you are checking the certification metrics to download the correct version which is certified with platform and database. So always ensure to check the certification metrics. Once you have noted down the certification metrics, so before you in fact go to do that, what steps you should do is note down the source DB version and platform. Note down the target DB version and platform. So in my case, we are going to use this VirtualBox for installation right now. So in my case, I have source DB version as Oracle 12.2 and platform is Linux x86-64. Same with target, but we are going to do installation on only one server right now for practice purpose. But before you, just for your information, if you are going to set up Golden Gate, do note down source DB version and platform, target DB version and platform. Once you have done that, what you have to do is check the certification metrics to download the correct version which is certified with platform and database. So I have seen many people, what they do is they download the latest version like 19C and it is not supported with the database or platform they are using. So always make it a habit of downloading the correct version which is certified with your platform and databases. Once you have done that, once you have checked the certification metrics, identified the Golden Gate which you have to download, and this certification metrics, always make it a habit to check. Not only with Golden Gate, with any technology. If you're going for database as well, do check the certification metrics, guys. It does not take more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes or maximum 5 minutes to check. But Trust me, it can save at least 4, 5, or 6 hours of work you are going to do later. I have seen people, what they do is they do the installation, they download, they do the installation, and then they say it is not running or it is not working. The reason being, you have to understand for different platforms, different database, it is possible that for SQL Server, I'm just giving you an example. I'm not saying that is correct, but I'm just giving an example. For SQL Server on Linux, 19C is not supported, but SQL Server on Windows, it is supported. So it is, so try to check what platform or database your Golden Gate is supported for, and you have certification metrics to answer that. Once you have that, download the certified Golden Gate software from OTN or edelivery.oracle.com. Once downloaded, you can proceed to install. So once downloaded, you can proceed for installation. So you can go with GUI or silent installation. So I'm now going to show you the installation of Oracle Golden Gate. So I have already downloaded this Oracle Golden Gate software. So this is the virtual box. In fact, if you're part of my training, you're going to be part of my training, you are going to receive these virtual boxes. So these virtual boxes comes with Golden Gate software and database software 12.2. So I've already downloaded 19C Golden Gate version and transferred to this virtual box, which is kept under /home/Oracle softwares and GG classic binaries. So this is GG classic binaries. So if I go to previous directory, so when you so when you download and transfer, it comes in zip file. So what you have to do, you have to unzip this file. You have to unzip this file. So once you unzip, it gets unzipped into this. So this is the Golden Gate version which I have downloaded is 19.1004, which is the latest one, 19.1.0.0.4. So once you unzip, once you have downloaded it and transferred onto the server, then you have to unzip it. So I have unzipped it to this. So now go to disk 1. Here you will find, ls. Here you will find run installer. So what you have to do, you have to run this installer. So once you run this installer, you will find that GUI will pop up in front of you. So from Golden Gate 12C onwards, you have this option of doing the GUI based installation as well. So you can also do the silent installation. I'll tell you about that later on. Okay. Now when you install Golden Gate, so once you run the installer, it asks you select the database for this Golden Gate installation. So see this Golden Gate 19C supports your 11G database, 12C database, 18C and 19C. So what you have to do is you have to select the correct database, whatever database you have on the system. If you select the wrong database, then when you try to start Golden Gate, it won't work because it looks for the libraries. So the database on my machine is 12C. So I'll select the third option. If you are using if you have database 19C, select first option. If you have database 18C, then select second option. And if you have 11G database, select fourth option. I'm going to select this third option. Once you have done that, click on next. Now, once I click on next, it asks for the software location. So software location means where you can install, where you are going to install Oracle Golden Gate. So I'm going to install Oracle Golden Gate. You can install Golden Gate in any directory. So what I'll do, I'll go to U01 app. Okay. So I'll install Golden Gate over here. GG_webinar. Okay. So I'm creating a directory. So I want Golden Gate to be installed in this directory. So I'll provide this location over there. Copy. So Golden Gate will be installed in this location, U01 app GG_webinar. Next is, it is asking for starting the manager. So as I mentioned to you, one of the component of Oracle Golden Gate classic architecture is start manager. So we are doing the installation of classic architecture. So one of the component of classic architecture is manager process. So manager process requires a port to run on. So we are choosing the option of starting the manager, and it is asking for the database location, basically the database home. So the database home here is I'm providing is U01 app Oracle product. The reason why you need to provide the database home is because it looks for database libraries. And then manager needs a port to run on. So you can provide any port. 7809 is default port. I'm going to use 8080. Remember, when you're installing Golden Gate, always ensure that this port is open. Once you have done that, click on next. Next page will be summary page. Next page will be summary page. So it will provide you the summary, whether everything is okay. Disk space required is 637 MB, available is 8.76, and do check the options. If you think anything is wrong, go back and correct it. You can always save this response file. So many organizations, what they have is they don't allow they don't allow GUI based installation. So what you can do, you can save this response file, say for example in dev, and just use this response file in production. Or other option is you can take this response file from any machine to another machine, anywhere it is possible. Change the whatever values you want to change, and then use it for silent installation. Okay, once you have done that, click on install. So what happens now? The installation of Oracle Golden Gate will happen. So installation will now take couple of minutes. It should not take more than couple of minutes now. So as soon as installation is done, you will find that the directory which I have created just now, U01 app gg_webinar, you will find that the Golden Gate installation will happen in that particular directory. Golden Gate installation will happen, classic architecture installation will happen in that particular directory. So right now it is 34%, 32%. So as soon as it is 100%, that means that the Golden Gate installation is successful. So let us wait for 1 minute. In the meanwhile, let me take one question. So we can install different versions. Yes, you can install different versions. So Golden Gate supports your forward compatibility as well as backward compatibility. So your source Golden Gate could be 11G, target could be 19C, your source could be 19C, and target could be 11G. Similarly, source database could be 12C, target could be 19C. So any combination will work with Oracle Golden Gate. Okay, now Brian is asking, presumably you have two databases on same server. Do you need one or two installations of GG? So Brian, that is really very good question. I appreciate that. But to answer that question, there are multiple answers. Means first we need to understand question for that. So the first we need to understand if the database version is same, yes, you can use the same Golden Gate. If the database versions are different, in that scenario, you need to have two different installation, as you see, because the binaries when you install it asks for which database version you want to use Golden Gate for. Okay, so now we see installation of Oracle Golden Gate was successful. Once you see that, close it. So Golden Gate installation is now successful. Now go to this directory which we created, U01 app gg_webinar. I see the binaries are installed in that. Now do /ggsci. So basically, as I mentioned, classic architecture is command prompt based architecture. So how do you log into classic architecture? That is ggsci. So do /ggsci, press enter. You will log into ggsci. So how to check version of Golden Gate? You will see the version of Golden Gate over here. Now do info all. You will see that manager process is running successfully. Okay, so the installation of Golden Gate classic architecture is successful, and we see that Golden Gate is successfully installed. Classic architecture is successfully installed. So this is the classic architecture. This is the classic architecture. Now for microservices, I already did the microservices installation prior to the session, or I was using it for one of my training sessions. So the microservices is already installed. So let me give you the look and feel of microservices as well. So for reaching the microservices, as I mentioned, it is a RESTful API based architecture, and you have to you can connect to microservices through GUI as well. So I'll log into microservices. So as I mentioned, I did it prior to the session microservices installation. I'm going to show you the how we can connect. So microservices, my service manager is running on port 7830. So I'm trying to reach, this is the IP address of the server where microservices is installed, and this is the port number on which it is installed. It is service manager is running. So this is the service manager. So now Oracle Golden Gate Service Manager, it is asking for username and password. So when you install, you need to provide username and password of Service Manager. So now we have inside Service Manager of microservices. You see, as I mentioned, Service Manager is nothing but watchdog of all other services. So under microservices, you have administration server, you have distribution server, you have performance metric server and receiver server. Okay, so this is the classic architecture installation which we did. This is how your classic architecture looks like. Classic architecture is command prompt based architecture, and this one is microservices based architecture. Microservices based architecture is GUI based architecture, and you can see all the processes which are running right. Okay. So now next is, there are two ways to install Oracle Golden Gate. One is GUI based and another one is silent installation. So as I mentioned, you can always copy the response file and use it for silent installation. Another thing is, for silent installation, you also have files available inside response folder. If you go to response, under that you have oggcore.rsp. So if you use oggcore.rsp, you will see these options. So just modify the options, install options, start manager, manager port, database location, inventory location, provide these information. Once you have done that, save this file and then use this. For silent installation, use this command /run installer -silent response file and the location of response file. Your silent installation will be fine. Okay. So for Oracle Golden Gate silent installation, you have to provide these parameters like install option, which will be 19C, Ora 19C or 18C or 12C or 11G. Software location, where to install, so which location. Then start manager, true or false. Manager port, any port number you can provide. And you can provide the database location, which will be Oracle. Then you can provide the inventory location and Unix group name as well for silent installation. Okay, so you have two options to install, either go with silent installation or GUI installation. Okay. Now, so one question which is asked is, do we need to install different software for classic and microservices? Yes, the binaries for classic as well as microservices are different. You cannot use the same binaries for classic and microservices. So binaries are different. So the binaries for classic are different and binaries for microservices are different. In fact, if I show in my virtual box what I am using and which you will also be receiving. So under this, I have binaries available like OGG classic 19C binaries and microservices 19C binaries. So these virtual boxes come with those binaries. Okay, so now let us discuss about what are options to install Oracle Golden Gate. So one question which Brian has asked and that really impressed me is, at what point do you decide to install classic or microservices architecture? So, Brian, the thing is, microservices architecture has been launched or introduced for ease of use. Like now, with Golden Gate microservices, it is assumed like there are basic advantages of microservices over classic, like it is GUI based. With microservices, you don't need access to operating system. Like you see, I can directly connect through GUI from any other machine. You just need network connectivity. So there is no, I would say, which one is good. Both are fine with classic and microservices. For me, if you ask me, I'm more comfortable with classic still because it is command prompt based. In fact, with microservices as well, you have command prompt available as well if you want to go with. So it is always recommended with Oracle. I'll tell you again, I repeat the same thing as per Oracle recommendation and my recommendation. Go with the latest support, go with the latest thing, whatever is there in the market, which is supported. So if microservices is supported, and definitely in you will see if you are using the new migration, if you're doing a new installation, I would recommend you to go with microservices. The simple reason being, within couple of years, otherwise Oracle will be prompting you to upgrade. Means Oracle is prompting its new customers to use microservices widely, because maybe in future, you never know. Microservice, as of now, there is no plan to replace classic, but maybe in future, you never know. You can never predict future, and microservices definitely is future of any technology, right? So that's why. So that was a good question. Thanks for asking. Okay. So now, what are the options to install Oracle Golden Gate? So there are different options. So you can use Golden Gate for local, you can install Golden Gate locally or remotely. What do you mean by locally and remotely? So locally means you install Golden Gate on local machine where database resides. And remotely means you install Golden Gate on different server apart from database. So, and Golden Gate is installed on what are the two, and with Golden Gate replication, there are two servers minimum required. One is source and another one is target. So what are the possible options? So if I call one server as ggate1 and another server as ggate2, that will solve our purpose. So I'll call one server as ggate1 and another server as ggate2. So ggate1 will act as source and ggate2 will act as target. So first option is you install Golden Gate on ggate1 for local capture and ggate2 for local apply. So you are installing Golden Gate locally on both ggate1 and ggate2. On ggate1 it will do the local capture, and on ggate2 it will do the local apply. First option is that. Second option is you install Golden Gate on ggate1, which will capture the data locally from ggate1 database and apply to ggate2 database remotely. So in the first option, you had two installation of Golden Gate, right? One on ggate1 and another one on ggate2. Now in second option, when you are doing install Golden Gate on ggate1, which will capture the data locally from ggate1 database and apply to ggate2 database remotely. So here we are requiring only one Golden Gate installation. One Golden Gate installation on ggate1 is going to capture the data, and same Golden Gate installation is going to capture the data remotely using the Golden Gate installed on ggate1. Third option is install Golden Gate on ggate2. Install Golden Gate on ggate2, which will capture the data remotely from ggate1 data and apply to ggate2 database remotely, right? So how many Golden Gate installation we need in third option? One, exactly. Now fourth option is, now so far we are installing Golden Gate on local, means on the available servers like ggate1 and ggate2. Now third option is you install Golden Gate on intermediate server, for example ggate3, which will capture the data remotely from ggate1 and apply the data remotely to ggate2. So In first option, you have local capture and local apply. In second option, you have local capture but remote apply. In third option, you have remote capture but local apply. However, in fourth option, you are installing Golden Gate on intermediate server and using that intermediate server to capture the data remotely as well as apply the data remotely as well. So here, what is happening is it is remote capture as well as remote apply as well. Now, fifth option is for installing Oracle Golden Gate. Install Golden Gate. So this one is doing remote capture as well as remote apply. Fourth option. Fifth option is install Golden Gate on intermediate server, which will capture the data remotely from G-Gate 1. But install Golden Gate on G-Gate 2 for local apply. So what you are doing right now, you are installing for one server, you are installing Golden Gate on intermediate server for remote capture, but doing the local apply. And sixth option is install Golden Gate on G-Gate 1, which will capture the data locally from G-Gate 1, but install Golden Gate on intermediate server, which will apply data to G-Gate 2. So you have different options available. So in the sixth option, what you are doing, you are installing Golden Gate on G-Gate 1 for local capture. But for remote apply, you're not utilizing this G-Gate 1, you are utilizing another intermediate server, which will apply data to G-Gate. So the thing here is you have different options available. Everything is, now you may say how to decide whether I should use remote local server or intermediate server. See, everything depends on project requirement, everything depends on cost, everything depends on resources. Like some projects may say that we don't have additional resources available for intermediate server, then you don't have any other option apart from going for local capture, local apply, or local capture, remote apply, or remote capture, local apply. Then you will have to utilize the existing servers. For intermediate server, definitely it's a cost. Some options may be like, you may say, Ashish, why do we need to use third server? Can't we utilize the same Golden Gate? Yes, you can definitely use that, but consider it might be possible that G-Gate 1 database or server is available for, see, in different organization itself, there are different what should I say, units. So one unit server may not be accessible to other unit, right? So that's why you want to use Golden Gate on one server, but for intermediate server you have set up for G-Gate 2. So there are different possibilities. You have to design architect. See, for Golden Gate, again, one of the major thing related to performance, I'll tell you, design and analyze your Golden Gate properly. Trust me, you will never get performance issues in Golden Gate. Now, one question you may ask is, which one is recommended out of these? Who will answer that for me? Just answer in the chat. Out of the 6 possible option, if I have to go for best performance method, which one I should be going with? Exactly. So I have received most of the answers, almost 100% right now are 4. So we will be going with local capture and local apply. Except one answer is there, which is 4. Why should we be going for remote capture and remote apply? That won't be the performance efficient, right? Fourth option is remote capture and remote apply. That won't be the performance efficient. The best performance efficient method to go with is install Golden Gate on G-Gate 1 for local capture and on G-Gate 2 for local apply. Okay. So am I making sense? Does the webinar looks good so far? Give me thumbs up or yes. Okay, thank you guys. I have received. So I hope you are enjoying. So we'll be covering a lot more things now. Okay, thank you guys. Thank you. So now, how the data flow in Oracle Golden Gate. So how the data flow is, Oracle log files are read by extract process, capturing any required data for replication. So your transactions happens in the transaction logs, and who is the ultimate source? Even if we are using integrated capture, what is the ultimate source for the extract process? It's the transaction logs, and then data comes into Logminer, right? So data gets written into the transaction logs of the database, and then extract reads those. Once extract receives the changes, it writes them to the local trail. Once the data becomes available into remote local trail, data pump reads the trail file, and whatever mapping or conversion needs to be done, it does that, and then transfers the data written into trail file from source to target system, where collector process writes them to the remote trail file. So if it is classic, collector process will do that task, and if it is microservices, the receiver server will do that for you. And once the data becomes available into remote trail, in that case, replicat process reads the trail file and apply the data to the target database. So the flow is simple. Capture process captures the data, write to local trail, pump process reads the data, sends it over TCP/IP network and writes it to remote trail, and then replicat process applies the data to the target database. Okay, I again tell you one thing here, just for your information. Golden Gate architecture is very important. Whenever we are talking about any technology, I should not say only Golden Gate. Why I always repeat about Golden Gate is because we are right now talking about Golden Gate. But the thing is, with any technology, architecture is very important. Architecture of Golden Gate architecture is really very important in any technology. Whatever technology we are talking about, architecture is very important. So in case of Oracle Golden Gate, Golden Gate is nothing less. So when we talk about Golden Gate as well, architecture is very important. It may seem very easy for you, but trust me, if you have understood the architecture, whatever setup of Golden Gate you are doing, whatever configuration you are doing, whatever troubleshooting, whatever issues you are getting, you can resolve almost 70 to 75% of issues, 70 to 75% of configuration. You can do that if you know the architecture very well. So focus on the architecture. Architecture is really very important. Okay. So now let us move to different types of extracts and replicats. So this topic, I think many of you must be waiting for. Okay. So what are the different types of extracts and replicats? So below are the different types of extracts: integrated extracts, integrated extract, and classic extract. So two types of extracts which are available are integrated extract and classic extract. So integrated extract is available with minimum Golden Gate version 11.04 and database version minimum should be 11.03, and it is only available with Oracle database. Classic extract is available since beginning of Golden Gate and it is still available, and it is also available for Oracle as well as non-Oracle database. So these are the two types of extract. What are the different types of replicats? You have non-integrated or classic replicat, you have integrated replicat, coordinated replicat, parallel replicat, and parallel replicat is of two types: parallel non-integrated replicat and parallel integrated replicat. So non-integrated and classic replicat is the replicat which is available since Golden Gate was developed or founded. Now you have integrated replicat which is available from Golden Gate 12.1 and database version needs to be 12c. So if your database version is 11g and Golden Gate 12c, you cannot configure integrated replicat. For integrated replicat to work, your Golden Gate version should be 12.1 and database version should be 12c. Coordinated replicat was introduced in Golden Gate 12.2 and it is kind of parallelizing your classic replicat. So improving the performance of classic, coordinated replicat was launched and it is available from Golden Gate version 12. Now from Golden Gate version 12.3, this is again the new feature which is parallel replicat, which has been introduced from Golden Gate version 12.3 onwards. So now from 12.3 onwards, you have parallel replicat available. Parallel replicat is again of two types: parallel non-integrated replicat and parallel integrated replicat. So basically this one, non-integrated and integrated, has been converted to parallel now. So you can configure parallel replicat now, And you have the option of creating either parallel non-integrated replicate or parallel integrated replicate. So parallel non-integrated replicate is available from database version 12.1 and Golden Gate version 12.3. So for configuring parallel non-integrated replicate, minimum Golden Gate version should be 12.3 and database version 12.1. And for configuring parallel integrated replicate, the Golden Gate version should be 12.3 and database version should be no lesser than 12.2. Okay, so uh, the performance of parallel replicate is very good, is very fast in comparison. Means again, I would say it's 5 times faster to contemporary replicates. So if you compare parallel non-integrated replicate to non-parallel non-integrated replicate, it is faster. Similarly, parallel integrated replicate is almost 5 times faster than integrated replicate. Now you can always use your source as integrated capture and target as non-integrated replicate, or your source can be classic extract and target can be integrated extract. You can use any combination, that is also possible. So your architectures which we have talked about before, classic and microservices, you can configure either of these extracts or replicates provided they are supported as per database and Golden Gate version. Okay, so if I have to go with your microservices architecture, let me open it. Okay, so I'll go to this administration server. Let me log into the administration server. So this is microservices architecture. Okay, so I'll log into OGG admin and provide password. This username password you provide during installation, which I provided while I installed Oracle Golden Gate. So if you see here, I can configure my extracts and replicate processes over here. So this is the administration server. As I mentioned, microservices architecture, one of the component is administration server. And under administration server, you configure your extracts or replicate process. So if I have to configure any extract process over here, I click on plus sign and you see there are different options available like integrated extract, classic extract, or initial load extract is used while if you are going to use Golden Gate initial load. So you have the option of creating either integrated extract or classic extract over here. Similarly, if I go for replicate, if I click on plus sign, I see I have the option of creating either integrated extract or non-integrated extract or coordinated extract or parallel replicate. Again, when I click on parallel replicate, I have two options available. Either I can create integrated or non-integrated. So we have different options available in Oracle Golden Gate. You can choose for same options, whatever you see in microservices, same options are available in classic architecture as well. So under classic architecture as well, you can create either of these extract process, integrated extract or classic, or if you are going to use Golden Gate for initial load, you can use for initial load purpose. Similarly for replicate as well in classic, you have all these options available. Okay, so before I move to next is different type of architectures and what are different type of extracts and replicates. I hope that part is clear, right? So integrated, so the question which I received, lot of questions which I received prior to session was, is integrated no longer there? So integrated is still there, but that is type of extract and replicate. Okay. Okay. So now Golden Gate is also available on OCI as well, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. So it was available for free on OCI Marketplace until May 2020. I'm not sure, I haven't checked whether it is now available, but if you wanted to use Golden Gate on OCI, it was available until May 2020. And any customer of the cloud service must only pay for the compute resources of OCI which are being used. This will only be available until and the customer must use the OCI Marketplace. Oracle Golden Gate can also be used to synchronize the autonomous data warehouse from on-prem source with near real-time data feeds as well. So Golden Gate was also available on OCI. I would say was available on OCI as well. I'm not sure it is still available, but I'm not sure if it is available for free. I'm not sure about that, but yeah, until May 2020, it was available for free. You could have used that. But yeah, still you can use Golden Gate for on-prem, or you can use Golden Gate on cloud. The way Golden Gate works remains same. So Golden Gate on OCI or on-prem, you can use different options like Classic or microservices. If you want to use it on OCI, you can provision your Golden Gate Classic or microservices, whatever you want to use. Okay. Okay. So does GGCDC use log structured approach for any described replicate option with extractor option? Santosh, that question is really not clear. Please reframe the question and I'll try to answer that. So Ananda is asking, where do we configure pump process in MSA? Who can answer this? Where do we configure pump process in MSA? Type in the chat. Do we have pump process in MSA? We don't have any pump process in microservices. So we don't configure, we have distribution server. Okay. Okay. So now I talked about classic architecture, microservices, and Veridata. So I offer below courses Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture, Oracle Golden Gate Microservices, and Oracle Golden Gate Veridata as well. So these are the three courses which I offer for training. So you may access all the course content from below link. Let me paste that in the chat session as well for you. You can fill out the, you can check the course content of the training. So the training program, what I do is completely practical, and it covers all the topics, and the purpose of the training is to make you Golden Gate expert. So below are the success stories and training feedbacks of my students. Like you can see, there has been many students of mine who are Golden Gate certified or who are doing very good in their work environment. And you can also look at the feedbacks. Few of the feedbacks are available on my LinkedIn profile as well. Few of them which I have, which are available on LinkedIn. You can check them, or over my YouTube channel, you can find them as well. So there have been success stories. Recently, one of my students cleared the certification. There are a lot of students, almost 50 students who have cleared the certification, maybe more than that. The count is more than that. So this is the latest one. And these are the feedbacks. Like, hi Ashish, the OGC training sessions are more than good and so informative. The training is so timely. I just have to put time to practice. You are godsend. So, and also you can check some of the WhatsApp related feedbacks as well. So all the feedbacks are available. Similarly, few of the feedbacks are, thanks Ashish, you're not only subject matter expert, but you have the ability to pass on knowledge and hold to others. I can confidently say my understanding of OGG greatly improved by attending your training sessions. And these are few of the certificate, means Golden Gate certified students who recently cleared. And these are the feedbacks available on my LinkedIn profile as well. Okay, so Sahil is asking how to decide when we should go for classic integrated parallel coordinated replicate. So as I mentioned, go with the latest one if it is supported. So if integrated is supported, go with the latest one. If parallel is supported, go with the latest one. Okay. Okay, so regarding the upcoming sessions of Golden Gate, so Oracle Golden Gate Classic Architecture Weekend Training Batch is scheduled to start from upcoming Saturday. So I'm going to start the new batch from upcoming Saturday, 20th of June 2020. It's a weekend batch, and duration of that is 18 to 24 hours. Oracle Golden Gate Microservices weekday batch is going to commence from 29 June 2020, and duration of microservices is 9 to 11 hours. And similarly, Veridata batch will commence from I think it will commence in second week of July. I haven't scheduled it yet. And duration is 10 to 12 hours. So the weekday batch timing, so what happens is all the sessions are conducted alternatively on weekends and weekdays. So right now I'm starting the weekend classic and weekday microservices. So next batch, whenever they finishes, the next batch will be weekday classic and weekend microservices. So this happens, I mean, so I do 8 times a year for classic architecture, 6 times a year for microservices, and 3 times a year for Veridata. So 4 times a year you get weekend and weekday classic architecture. Similarly, 3 times a year for microservices, weekday, and 3 times a year for weekend microservices you will get. So the session runs continuously, and duration of classic architecture is 18 to 24 hours. And the offerings of the live courses are, you have 1 year unlimited retakes, access to recorded sessions for lifetime. So you have video sessions, you can refer to them for lifetime whenever you want. You have 1 year unlimited retakes for instructor-led live sessions. You also get step-by-step activity guides. So all the sessions, whatever I do, those are practical and you get access to those every time. Then you have one-on-one doubt clearing session. So any doubts, any issues, questions you have, you get one-on-one doubt clearing session. You have job support for lifetime. So this is one thing which makes it unique again, the training program. You have lifetime job support. So any technical issues related to Golden Gate you are facing, you can discuss with me anytime for lifetime. And you have lifetime WhatsApp support as well. So I have an enrolled student WhatsApp group as well, wherein other students of mine are there. So what I believe in is you learn from others and others learn from you. So you have lifetime WhatsApp support as well. And you also get the lab setup kit for practice. So basically the virtual boxes, you will have access to those, you will get those virtual boxes. All the sessions are practical and you will have access to all those things. So sessions are conducted regularly. All the sessions are practical and training is interview and job oriented. You can join any session any number of times for next 1 year. The sessions are live and interactive and it will pave your path towards becoming a Golden Gate expert. And at the end of the session, you will be able to set up, manage, troubleshoot, configure Golden Gate on your own, as well as able to provide solution related to Golden Gate on your own to the customer. So if you're interested for the training, you can fill out the below inquiry form. You can always fill out the below inquiry form, or you can email at ashishagarwalag@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp at 416-871-5708. And remember to put the country code as +1. I'm in Canada. So for today's session feedback, please provide your feedback for the session via email. You can recommend me on LinkedIn or Twitter. You can email at ashishagarwalag@gmail.com, or you can send the invite over LinkedIn or WhatsApp. Tweet me at ashishagarwalag@gmail.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, so one question is, if all three are supported, then one like in. So how to enroll for the course? So below are the costs of the courses. So these are the actual course fees. So classic architecture is $321 or 22,999 rupees. Microservices is $199 or 13,999 rupees, and one for. So I have sale. I'll let you know about sale in the next slide. So Veridata is 149 USD and 10,250 rupees. Together, all three courses are available for 669 USD or 47,258 rupees. Currently, I have until 18th of June, I have almost 30% off on the courses. So classic architecture is 241 USD. Microservices is 149 USD, and Veridata under sale is available for 120 USD. And together, all three courses until 18th of June are available for 355 USD or 26,599 rupees. And as a webinar attendee, you get 10% off if you enroll now. So for next 30 minutes, if you enroll, you will get all three courses for $321 or 23,999 rupees only. But that will be only available only for next 30 minutes, and until 18th of June, then after 30 minutes, it will be $355 or 26,599 rupees. And after 18th of June, the prices will be normal. So it will be 669 USD all three courses or 47,258 rupees. So if you want to go for individual courses, you can go for individual courses as well. Okay. And how to pay, how you can enroll is, you can enroll for Indian students, you can use the link. For PayPal, if you want to use, you can use below link. Okay. So classic architecture, so individual prices are like this. Classic architecture is 241 US dollars or 17,999 rupees, and microservices is $149 or 10,250 rupees, and Veridata is $120 or 8,599 rupees. And under next 30 minutes, you have 10% off all three courses for 23,900. Okay. So I'll take few questions in the meanwhile if you have any. So I hope you like the session. So Sahil is asking, but if all three are supported, then what? Like in 19.1 GG and 19.3 DB, all are supported. Which one should we opt? I didn't get the question. If all three are supported, then what like in, I didn't get the question, Sahil, sorry. So related to certification, classic it's 1Z0447, and classic architecture contains the Golden Gate certification contains questions from classic architecture 60 to 70%, microservices 15 to 20%, and Veridata 10 to 15%. Yes, you can use, Raju is asking, can we use one Golden Gate installation for source and target database? Yes, you can use. So you can use same Golden Gate installation as I mentioned. So if you want to register, I'm pasting the link. Okay, so just 1 minute, sorry. So it's from Redulog committed transaction. So Saurabh is asking if from Redulog, how it identify only committed transaction. See, in Redulogs, in log files, the data is written in a lot of different ways. Means for us, we think that it is only a transaction, but if you go internally, there are a lot of things attached to it. So it knows it has been marked as committed internally, so it knows which transaction it has to capture. Okay, is there a way to find if extractor is classic or integrated? Yes, you can do, just do info or go to the detail of the process, you will get that information. You can find that. So Brian is asking, is course 18 to 24 hours one long stretch, or is it so much time per day per week? So it's 18 to 24 hours complete duration, and one, if it's a weekend batch, we do 2.5 to 3 hours a week, and if it is weekday batch, we do 4 to 5 hours a week. So 18 to 24 hours is for classic. And how it is recommended to learn is, you first learn classic, then microservices and Veridata if you decide for all three. However, when you go for individual courses, so you can means learning classic is mandatory, learning microservices and Veridata is recommended for future and cover all other places. So when you start learning, how your learning path goes is, you first learn classic, then microservices, and then Veridata. Okay. Okay. So guys, the sale will be on for next 30 minutes. If you have any question, you can always send me an email or WhatsApp me. Okay. And for any question, so Sahil is asking if all replica types integrated classic are supported. Which replicate option to go for? As I mentioned, Sahil, again, go for the latest one. Parallel is the latest one. So go with parallel if it is supported. I always recommend everyone test with the, go with the latest one and then see how it goes. Always See, those things, whatever has been developed is meant for you only, meant for the latest version. So they have been tested and they have been rolled out. So yeah, go for the parallel one if it is supported. There is no issue in going with that. Okay. And so these are the prices. And if you have any questions, issues, feel free to reach out to me at ashishagarwalag.com, or you have my WhatsApp number as well, +1 416 871 5708. You can always uh, send me an invite over LinkedIn as well. If you haven't done that, do that please. And you can tweet your queries as well at ashishagarwalag@gmail.com. So I see 4 registrations received so far. So one is Adrian, and the second is, I'll have to see, I'll check. So I've received so far 4 registration. Thank you guys. Thanks Adrian for registering. And thank you for joining today's session. So I hope today's session was informative and useful. So if you have any payment questions, anything, just send out an email to me. I see. So I hope today's session was, I'll tell you guys one thing. This is the first time I'm telling you the course fees, etc. I never do that during the session, but because I received so many questions last time around, since I was like individually, I was sending emails. So I thought I should be telling you during the course itself. So thank you. Thank you for joining today's session. I hope today's session was informative and useful. I hope it made you better today. So do give me a thumbs up and thank you. Thank you for joining. Have a good day.